Yeah, now stand and cheer for your Talking Basketball podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Talking Basketball podcast. I am Mark.
I am Paul.
Got another one, another interesting one this week.
Well, I'm going to start with this intro by continuing and going, and your Orlando Magic.
Oh, nice. I like it. Yes, there's a big hint about what we're talking about today.
So we're finally doing that.
Finally.
It's taken a long time for us to get to this point. But Mark, we're doing the Orlando Magic podcast where we're talking about the Advent Health Training Facility, which is it was built in 2022. It's the Orlando Magic's new training facility. And whilst I was in Orlando, I had the opportunity to go and check it out.
Yeah. Got to say first off, thank you to the organisation for helping get that in place so we could do that, because that was
definitely huge shout out to
unbelievable
huge shout out and a massive thank you to Shelley, who was extremely kind. You know what, I've had a lot of interactions over the years with Americans, and their hospitality towards the Brits is you just walk away going, that's why we're, friends in arms.
Yes. Absolutely. There's definitely a special relationship between the UK and the US. There's no question there.
They say we're going this way. We say, yeah, let's go. But Mark, look, let's talk about. Look, I've got a lecture. I've got 4 pages of notes here. When I did my tour, but yeah, so opened in 2022.
Yeah. So this is for what other people don't, appreciate, is that a lot of the training organisations or the facilities, game day is in the main arena, but that's obviously not where they train. And a lot of people don't realise that when they first go there. They're like, oh, this is where they practice everything. It's like, no, they just played the game there.
Yeah,
That's
so
it.
Historically, the Orlando Magic, they were training like on one court. So you might have people waiting, 2 players or at each end. And that's kind of what it was. But the standard in the NBA very much is 2 courts minimum now. I will say off the bat, as far as training facilities go, not just in the NBA, this training facility is the top of world standard. There is things that they're doing there what you get nowhere else in the world. Fact.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Fact. So you do have the Amway Center, which we've visited, and the new training facility is literally a block away. It's right around the corner. And I know you asked me really random questions. So to be exact, Mark, it's 6,000 square feet away. So I knew you were going to say something like that.
It's what?
6,000 feet away.
Yeah, you said square feet away.
Oh.
That's volumetric.
Oh, that's like
distance.
a block. Anyway, right. So it cost $70 million.
Yeah, I can believe
$70 million, and it covers 130 square foot state-of-the-art space.
Nice.
And I got to highlight that since Jeff Weltman arrived in the Orlando Magic, they have had more investments in basketball operations in that department than they have at any previous point in the organizational history.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, that says where his mindset is. And, the Amway Center is a great building.
Yeah.
It's a great building. We've got another podcast coming up where we're going to talk about game day experience, and I've got some great pictures from that.
Yep.
But yeah, the practice facility was something that evolved out of the Magic outgrowing the practice facility there, where there was only one court.
Okay.
This is a hub for the Magic's players to train, and obviously their recovery needs. And this was a great line that I found. If there's any possibility that you can imagine for an NBA player to develop and grow to become the best possible version of themselves every single day, they have all this opportunity within this training facility.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, when you go around, you'll see it. So yeah. So I do want to. So Mark, I got some pictures.
Yep.
That we can share. Obviously, the majority of our listeners are on audio, but they won't see it. But if you do, check this out on YouTube, and you'll see what I'm looking at. Some of the pictures. I've got some videos as well as I was going around.
It's a good excuse as any for anyone who isn't looking to go and check out it all on YouTube, and maybe you might prefer watching it, or at least putting it on YouTube and going about your day.
Yeah. So right, that is the Advent Health Training Center.
It's weird, isn't it? Like you look at that and you just see palm trees outside a building. Just exactly the same as somewhere in Britain, really.
Yeah. Now, look how bright it is. Look how sunny it is. I mean, Florida is the sunshine state.
Yes.
And this is really important because there's a lot of natural light in Florida. Yeah. And one of the things that
make this a little bit bigger
was part of the design was making sure that the actual facility utilized natural light on the courts or inside the facility.
That's cool.
So it's really clever. I mean, as we go round on the tour, because basically what I'm going to do is walk you through the tour that I went on, and yeah. So if you go to the next slide, Mark, you'll see that is the door I went through. Not as exciting.
Tradesman's entrance. Look at that. Just on the side there.
Hey, security pounced on me. I parked up and they're like, "What are you doing here?" So they were earning their paycheck that day. So, but like the actual training facility is on the second floor. Yeah. Everything's on the second floor, but the entrance is all on the first floor.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but look, unless you're supposed to be there, you're not getting in. I'm telling you now. Like we went through lots of doors to get through, and you know the security is tight. I mean, let's face it, you've got a lot of value, a lot of money in the players and all of that. Like, you know, no one's just strolling in.
No, you're not. Yeah, you're not letting any old idiot walk in. Well, they let you guys in, but
yeah. So so I took this picture, Mark, and this is just wanted to highlight. Oh, it's like that because it's on my phone, is it?
Yeah,
that's fine. So I took that picture because when you are in the facility, you get the sense of history all around. I mean, if you look at, you know, some of the legends that have played for the Orlando Magic, you know, their pictures all around on the actual on the walls and stuff like that. And it's still growing. They're still putting more stuff. They're like, we want to put more of that.
I mean, look, you got Shaq Penny and Scott Skiles right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scott obviously famously coached them as well.
There's one guy. There's a name that got brought up a lot on the tour. There's a guy called Arnie Kander.
Okay.
He's vice president of performance and wellness for the Orlando Magic. You might
shout out Arnie.
You might recognize his name. He was definitely with Detroit when they won their championship. 2003, 2004. I think they were in the finals 2004, but they won it in 2003.
Yep.
2004 was Malice in the Palace, was it? It was around there anyway, isn't it? Anyway, so one of his quotes I loved. He said, "You are only as good as what you have available."
Yeah.
He brings 24 seasons of NBA experience, and he's responsible for overseeing the Magic's high performance staff, including the management of athlete training services, injury reduction, rehabilitation programming, strength conditioning, sports science recovery, and player nutrition, all of which we're going to go into as we're going around on this little tour.
Okay.
an innovator in the fields of injury prevention, sports rehabilitation, and physical conditioning. Kanda is renowned in the professional sports world for his unique methods of application, and he has designed recovery and workout programs that have proven to be successful. For example, again, just look at what happened whilst he was in Detroit. They won their championship. Oh, sorry. No, you were right, Mark. They won their championship. I actually wrote it down because I knew you'd bring it up. They won their championship in 2004. They were runners-up in 2005. But I was in the ballpark. Anyway.
I think it's because it's that whole thing again where the season is 2003, 2004. So they won it in 2004, but it was the 2000. I think that's what it was.
Has he got... if you were like vice president of performance and wellness... Do you get a championship ring?
Not sure. I know the executive bodies do, but you're talking like the executive CEOs and stuff. I don't know if that.
I would say. I mean, they're part of the conditioning of the players, rehabilitation, and all that. That's. I would say that's worthy of a championship ring.
I guess there's a line, isn't there? There's a line at some point in the boardroom, shall we say, where it's like up to here, you don't get anything, then you'll get they might get bonuses and stuff, but not necessarily a ring.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so he is one of the innovators, the minds behind everything that you're about to see and everything inside the facility. Okay. So where do we get to?
Got a video coming.
A sense of history. That's what you got. A sense of history when you're in this building. Now, the first space that I went into, they actually call it the family room.
Okay.
And it's got... I don't know where the players come in, but I think they come in and this is the first room they come in. That's what I vaguely recall.
Okay. So this is the family room that we're looking at here. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's where players can get breakfast, lunch. There's actually an outdoor patio as well.
Okay.
And you can actually, I don't think I got a picture of this, but you can actually see the Amway Arena from the outside patio whilst you're doing your barbecuing.
Okay.
I don't know if they're having burgers out there, but you could be having a burger out there on the I think there's 2 grills maybe out there, 2 big grills maybe, but you can see the Amway just in, well, it's a block away. So,
so this is what the family room would look like.
Yeah. So
it's just like your regular lounge, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Times 10.
Whoa! What's this?
So what you're seeing there, just
snackage.
So that is the kitchen area. Now, I just want to focus on that for a second because, really importantly, they had some of the players' nutritional drinks that they were preparing for the next day.
Oh, okay.
When I say
that's when it gets prepped there.
Yeah. When I say they go into detail, they go into
look at it,
minute detail. So just to the right of that, just off the camera, you can't see it. They've got the drinks that they want every player to have the next day. And they're just like, okay, this guy needs this amount. And it's by the grams, like he needs more grams. Even if it's 2 more grams, he needs it. It's in so much detail. And you just see all these cups like, that's Paolo Banchera's, this, and they go through the list. There you go.
That's cool.
So absolute. So again, one of the words,
and that's just off of the site. I mean, that's just off of this beautiful lounge area, isn't it?
Yeah, but the one word that jumped out to me with that family room was community.
Yeah. I love the natural light thing as well. Like you're saying, you can see it there, can't you?
Exactly.
It's all just. It is a family room. Yeah, it really is, isn't it? This is where.
But it's community. That's where, and this is where I had the sense of. Do you know when you're going on a raid trip and you're on the coach?
Yeah.
And that's where you start to bond with guys.
Yeah.
Not when you're an NBA player, but when you're in the UK or
when we're NBA players.
That's when you're bonding. Yeah. That's where you get to the point where you're like, someone messes with you, I'm going to throw my body on the line here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is what I took from this room. This is where they're building all that camaraderie. Again, they call it the family room. So, I don't know if their families go. I'm assuming they do.
I'm trying to work out what's in the jar. There's something in that jar. I want to see what it is.
It look.
That looks
Well,
nice.
what that just on the right? It looks like.
yeah.
I think that's.
Someone else is watching this now, going, "Of course, it's these."
Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know.
So, where did I get to?
So that's what we've got some pictures, I think, of the family room itself.
Yeah.
as well,
Chuck the
haven't we?
pictures up.
Yeah. So we can get one of these up. There it is.
Sorry, yes, I did write it down. So she did say that it's where the players enter the building, and you can probably see, the restaurant and the kitchen. That's where they have the meals, nutritionist. They have the staff to help with the meals.
Look at that. That is such a nice looking venue, isn't it?
Yeah. So basically, this is the direction we walked in, and what I took, I think, is just up those stairs. That's where the executives will be. That's their offices.
Okay.
And
that's where their offices are.
So up the
what
stairs,
a horrible place to go to work.
Oh, amazing. No, Mark, seriously.
Ugh,
no.
awful.
So you look out, if you're one of those execs, you look out one window and you've got this
area.
amazing room.
Yeah.
You look out your other window, you're looking on the Orlando Magic floor training facility.
Oh, terrible. Ugh.
Very amazing, isn't it?
That is,
You must be
I feel
sat
sorry
there
for them.
just like smiling all day, like,
What a hardship.
this is my life. This
What a
is great.
hardship. That is beautiful, isn't it? That is absolutely beautiful. Really, really, yeah. They knocked that one out of the park, that's for sure. So then one we got.
Oh, so yeah, there's I didn't see this, but I actually heard Jeff Woolman say that they have certain even if there's like a fridge or something where there are screens and stuff like that, and the players, if they choose to, can upload photos of their family or people they aspire to, and they get to see that on every time they go in there.
I mean, look at it. What a place.
Mark, this is just where they have breakfast.
Look, I'd just like to point out, for those who can't see, our table that we're leaning on right now is not dissimilar to the coffee table they have in the middle there. I suspect slightly more expensive than this one. But yeah, love it. And do you know what? It's going to sound really weird. Not loads of blue. You got the blue lights at the top. But
Yeah.
I'm not walking into there going, this is an Orlando Magic, like it distastefully everything everywhere, if that makes sense.
This is probably one of the few rooms where everything isn't branded.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
And it was again, like, this is the meeting room. This is where they get together, relax,
Yeah.
talk, have a break from work, whether it's on the court or upstairs in the offices. This is where they come.
Love it.
Oh, here you go. The outdoor patio is equipped with summer kitchen stuff. It's got a grill and apparently it's got a putting green. Can't remember seeing that. Apparently it's got a putting green. I wrote the note, so it must have done. But yeah, you can see the Amway Centre in the distance. This is just an extremely nice space environment to be in, isn't it? And again, the words that stand out to me are camaraderie, community, support, and again, just going back, natural light. What you said, how bright it is.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You got the Florida sunshine consistently just glowing up that room, and for our listeners who are not seeing the audio, basically it's just like lots of lounge chairs. We're not really
the audio.
What did I say? Not seeing the audio.
Yeah.
Not seeing the video.
If you're not seeing the audio,
it's just lots of lounge chairs, comfortable areas, tables, kitchen area, places you can sit down on and just relax.
Yeah, it's got a nice retro feel to it as well. I like that.
And moving on, just in view, just opposite the kitchen here, they do have their trophy cabinet.
Okay.
And I think
just off of that kitchen.
I think
let me open that up there. So
I got a video of
the
this
kitchen
for you.
there. And I guess the trophy cabinet's just here, just behind that staircase, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for those who can see, there's a staircase, and just to that left of it, you can just see That's where we'll be taking it through now, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So I took a couple of videos of the trophy cabinet for you.
Excellent. For me. God bless you. Right, see if I can do this. Right, there we go. That's cool, isn't it? The dragon. There's a dragon playing guitar there. What was that?
Oh, there you go. So there's just.
Let's go back to here so people can see. So we got some dragons going on here.
But just to the right of that was that screen that I was telling you about, where you could have family shots and different things. If you go to the next video, Mark,
there's the dragon.
One of the big, probably the most obvious trophy in there.
The most obvious trophy. Oh yeah,
is going to be that one.
This one here.
Conference finals.
Yes.
Nice. And look, when you see the trophy, like reviewing that, it's just history, isn't it? Just absolute history. You can see that's cool, been, it's just been held, it's been grabbed hold of, it's been lifted, it's had champagne thrown all over it.
G League finals as well. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it? Seeing it says YouTube TV.
Maybe we'll have a YouTube one day.
Maybe.
Trophy, Mark.
Let's get one. Let's get an NBA. But that's cool, isn't it?
You know what? That's a big trophy as well. Like, it's a big trophy. That would be amazing. But what I loved about it...
What was that, 2009, something like that? I think something like that. Yeah, 2009, sure. Yeah.
But what I loved about it, just look on the actual base of the trophy. It's got all the dents.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. It's got the fingerprints on it.
Oh yeah, it's tarnished.
Still, so
it's the proper one that goes between teams, as and when. Yeah.
But that just says to me, history.
Yeah, I love that.
Legacy.
Yeah, love it.
And obviously it's behind glass, but if you could touch that trophy, you're touching the same trophy that legends have touched.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
that's very, very, very nice, isn't it?
So we are heading ever closer.
Yeah.
To the center, the hub, the changing rooms. But before you get there, there's this absolutely great bit of history that I just wanted to highlight to our listeners.
Okay.
Which is I don't know what they call it. A wall of fame is what we would probably call it in the UK. Yep. But basically, anyone who has played for the Orlando Magic, they have this wall of plaques on the way to the changing rooms, and you'll have a plaque with your name, your number.
Yep.
And yeah, so what you've highlighted there, that's the very first one you see. And I can't read it from here, but if I remember rightly, if it had a star on it, it meant you're an all-star.
Yep. It's NBA. It's a star. It's an NBA All-Star.
I can't read what the other ones say.
If you're in the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame, is the basketball. Then obviously, if you're in Orlando's Hall of Fame, you get they got the little Magic logo on there.
So if you go on to the next picture, I took one of the.
I'll read out what it says on there.
Okay.
Does the Orlando Magic recognise and thank every player who has ever worn a Magic jersey? We're grateful for the contributions to our franchise and will continue to honour them on these walls, past, present and future. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what? And right near that spot, I saw a video, it's on YouTube, you're able to see it, of Tracy McGrady. And he's saying basically like, I'd love to go, I'm going to go get some shot-ups in there. I kind of feel like I helped contribute to build the legacy and stuff like that. And
well, there we go. That's the actual thing, isn't it?
And I would have just loved to seen T-Mac's face as he walked down this part.
Just look at some of these names here. There's big old Shaq right at the top there.
I got a close-up one of Shaq for you.
Steve Kerr, obviously famous for the
Tracy McGrady
T-Mac,
there.
Grant Hill.
Patrick Ewing, he was on there.
Mike Miller. Everyone's got to remember Mike Miller. Keith Bogans. Wow. I mean, they got some old names in here for sure, haven't they? That is very cool, though.
So as you can see, like with Shaq's one in particular, he's in the Hall of Fame. He was an all-star.
And the first Magic one as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very, very cool.
It's all these... little touches that you get as you go around the facility that just says family, community, we're a team, like let's do this together, we're looking after you.
And in all its, I won't say all its glory, but yeah, I mean that looks so cool as well. And do you know what, when you showed me this photo beforehand, the thing that really stuck with me is they've put a plaque here for every Orlando Magic player.
Yeah.
Not loads of plaques, are there?
No, there's not many, no.
And when you think of it that way, I know we've talked about it before, but how many people actually make it into the NBA and actually make it as a player? It's not loads.
Yeah.
You're not talking, like, even with, say, a football team, you immediately have got 2-3 times the amount of players in a squad, let alone more. You don't have that many players. And some of these names on here, we saw Shaq, you saw Steve Kerr, for example. I mean, Kerr famous for the Bulls, obviously now is the head coach for Golden State, but played here as well. And you suddenly think they're not millions of generations back. These are players from like the 90s, 2000s, 2010s. It's yeah.
Mark, you haven't seen anything yet.
I
like
know.
you've gone through the family room where they have breakfast, and you're in the corridor on the way to the changing room.
Got your standard American
now that
wall.
That, Mark, is a gift, an absolute gift. So I went past a random wall. This would have been, it's roughly around near the family room from what I remember. Okay. Yeah. But I took that picture because, and I'll show you why, I saw and thought that is an absolutely amazing thing for a phone. And there you go, look.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is a good one for the phone.
So I took it, and that, also it's my screensaver now. Yeah. With that, because I mean the wall just looks great, and I thought if you shared that online, that's a nice little gift. Obviously, it does look like a random wall, but it can be used as a screensaver for your phone.
That is very cool, and to know where it is as well. So you go,
it's actually in the facility.
That's in the facility, in a place that you like.
Not many people will have that as their screenshot.
You can't get there. It's just not,
actually. I recommend. I actually think I'm probably one of the only people in the world who's got that as their screenshot. And it's a gift.
Yeah,
I'm giving it as a gift.
Nice
to the world. So yeah, right. I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah,
there were certain times I couldn't take pictures with my phone. Absolutely understandable. Yeah. And there were some times that I could. So where I couldn't take photos, I obviously got it online because the pictures are online.
Yeah.
So moving on.
Yeah.
I think we finally made it to the actual changing room.
Okay.
Now this is a big space.
Oh yeah.
That is a really big space. Yeah. And
yeah, so you went in here, but we couldn't take the photos.
Yeah, that's not me taking a picture.
No, it's a nice in-frame shot.
But it's a very, very open space, and this is where the team come together.
That's where they play the song.
I don't know if they play the song now or not, but it'd be cool. You know what? It'd be really funny if there was one for stuff as well.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, now what I would say, it was a great space. I think the next very big space, the next picture I think will highlight the size that is available to the players. So you've obviously got the chairs by their changing room, but they actually have like walk-in wardrobes, closets, whatever you want to say.
Oh, I can see. Just to the side. Yes, of course. So
they actually walk in, and even that is a big space. Now, I think I know why I was asked not to take pictures in there. And it's if I'm right in my assumption, it's actually quite a funny reason not to do it. Because some players are more tidy than others.
Oh.
And that's what I assumed. But so, for example, you will have. I'm not saying any names, but you'll have one player who is absolutely immaculate. I mean, I didn't go into the wardrobe; just walked past and looked. But everything's lined up, absolute perfect.
Yeah.
Shoes in perfect.
Someone else throws it in like their cupboard.
No, worse than that.
What?
There was one player. Imagine a bomb has gone off in a wardrobe and everything's just on the floor.
Yeah.
Imagine you have 20 pairs of shoes, because it wasn't far off that, and you just pile them into like a little mountain, like a little hill,
Yeah.
right by the door
Nice.
of the wardrobe. So, but what I thought was really good about that was it's the player's space.
Yes.
And if the player being neat, tidy, or the player going, this is how I function with chaos, where my shoes are all chaos, if that's how they function to the best of your ability and it goes onto the court, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's my space. Yeah, that's very cool.
But yeah,
I mean, I absolutely would be in that.
It was, it was really good. It was, and obviously you got the TVs, all by the, by the chairs. Sorry, I've kind of gone away from my notes here. What did I say?
But that,
again,
I mean, that is a pretty amazing space, isn't it?
Jeff Weltman refers this as the inner sanctum, the locker room with the spacious walk-in lockers.
Yeah, like it.
You can see how big it is, though.
Yeah, it's massive.
And look,
there's Eames chairs.
These are big guys.
Yeah,
these are really big guys. So you're looking at that chair going, oh, okay, that's not an office chair. This is that is a massive leather chair, massive.
Oh yeah,
and
straight out of Dr. Evil's set.
Yeah, we're talking massive. And that's one thing I haven't said yet, and I think it's really important. It's going to become integral to everything from now on. Is they have thought about every detail. So, for example, they're looking at this going, most players who sit on these chairs are going to be 6'5", 6'7".
Yeah.
Yeah. So those chairs are for a 6'5", 6'7" player.
Yeah.
It's not for me and you.
No.
And that is something that goes around everything that is about to follow.
Yeah. Everything's just like 4 or 5 inches more.
Right. What have I got left on my notes? Big space, locker room inside the Amway Centre. Oh, so yeah. So this is actually bigger than the change room in the Amway Centre. Much bigger.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Significantly.
Do you know
bigger.
what? It makes sense in a way, because when you're in Amway, you're there to do your job. You're in, do it, get the result, and get out in a way. Whereas here, you're here way more often, and that makes sense. You'd want it a little bit comfier, a bit bigger. Totally adds up. So what we got next on this little list here?
So sorry. So just to conclude, this is their team meeting space where they're hanging out, getting ready. And I overheard someone say this, and I completely agree, which is, and I'm saying this in a nice way, the players are so spoiled. Like, it is the standard of what they got is amazing. And you just look at it and you think, wow, this is the standard above the standards.
I'd love to know who did the carpet, because that's pretty impressive, isn't it? When you look at it and you think it's a grey carpet, then you realise it's the Magic logo within the carpet. Can't be easy, because there's lots of curves and all that sort of stuff. So random fixation, but yeah.
We'll just stay on that for a second, Mark, because there's a few things. Obviously, I didn't take any pictures of the next couple of rooms I went into, but so around this area, behind this, you have like shower facilities.
Yep. Even
the shower facilities, like, we would go in there and we would be like, this is like a waterfall. Wow. It's like 8 foot high. Like, it's for big guys. Like, the shower's coming down quite high up. And even things like, I don't think this is crude saying it, but even things like the toilets.
Yep.
So the toilets are built, obviously, if you're sat on a toilet.
Yep. It's for the upper lower leg length, isn't it?
Yeah. So the toilets are actually higher.
Yep.
So when they're sitting there, obviously they're not on the normal our normal ones, they'd be right down. You know, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a.
Not many people think of the logistics of Shaq going to the toilet, but yeah, you just
but even like
it's anything, isn't it? Like you got someone who's like 250, 300 pounds, and they're 6'8", 7 foot. You go, suddenly things that we take for granted are not like a door handle. Door handle will be bigger, so you can get your hand in, because some door handles would be quite narrow or short, but the actual hand in, just silly things like
so
that.
there's all that. So even like the toilets and the showers, the actual
the sinks are deeper.
cubicle space, that's bigger, because obviously you get those big guys walking in, you know, they get in our one, it's going to be a bit squashed. So detail, absolute detail, stands out. So you got the shower room, private showers, sauna, steam room. Again, all built for big guys going in there. I think now you can go to the next room.
Yeah. Oh, I'm allowed to, am I? I'm allowed to go into the next room.
Now, did you go in one of these?
I've been in one of those, yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say you went in there for an hour? And it felt like 8 hours sleep?
That is the most relaxed I've ever been, probably to date, in my life.
Oh.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. You go in those things and it's a sensory deprivation tank for those who can't see. And they look like a kind of egg. They weirdly look like the Mork and Mindy, Mork, he comes out this weird egg thing. That's what they look like. You get in it and it's very, very highly salinated water, so you float super easily. And often they give you either like an eye thing or something just to make sure you don't get the water in your eye because it stings. You go in there and then you've got the option to close the lid if you want and have the lights turn off or turn out. And sometimes they play music a bit like our background music that you can hear there. They have sometimes relaxing music, or you can turn it all off and just float in pitch black. But that thing's got to be massive, because if they are like, you got 7 foot guys,
and that's what you can't see with that photo, is that's a big egg. I don't know what you call it, but it's a big egg.
It is,
and I think I'd have to lid down.
You can put your arms out and your legs out and everything, and you don't touch the sides.
That's massive. It's massive. It's massive, but there's nothing in that room for scale. And obviously I probably could have taken a picture at this point. I think it was just a change room, so I wasn't. But I'll be honest, I was so kind of taken back and in awe of everything. I was like, I kind of forgot for a bit.
I guarantee we'll have to go do one of those, because they've got a few down this way. And I totally recommend anyone who hasn't ever gone in one of these, do it. It's really freaky, but if you just chill, it's just the most relaxing thing ever. Yeah.
Well, I remember the thing that Shelley said at this point was the whole point was relaxing the body, relaxing the mind.
Oh yeah. It gives you a clarity.
It provides the feeling of weightlessness and shuts out all sights and sounds.
Yep.
I guess we're getting into the psychology of it, but is that like putting your mind back in the womb? It's something like that, isn't it? Maybe.
Don't know. All I know is it was a very clear. Your brain just goes very clear because you're just super relaxed.
So let's stay on that for a second. But there were a few rooms that I saw, but I haven't got any pictures. So there was like, I'd call it the geeking room, where there was like sofas and you had a couple of PlayStations, and it was like, man, it'd be great to be a fly on that wall, see some of the players go head to head. NBA 2K.
That'd be good.
So yeah, that was great.
Do you think they play as themselves?
Oh, I would. I definitely would, wouldn't you? If you're a player in the NBA, you'd be playing yourself. You definitely would be.
I'm going to say this. It depends who I'll be playing against. Because if you really want to be psychological and win, you'd play against whoever you're playing against. They would have a nemesis or someone who really riles them up in the league, and you go, I'm going to play as them just to wind them up.
Yeah. You Could do. Mark's going on to new levels.
Yeah, I'm gonna just take it on that way. It's like they'll just see a Reggie Miller running around. They'll be like, I hate him. And every time he scores a point, it'd be like the hatred.
Well, the next room I went into, I wish I took a picture of it because I was kind of fascinated with it. It is a full body cryotherapy chamber.
Oh, okay.
And it was a quick way to get the full body cold exposure, so for recovery.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure it was like you have it in 3-minute sessions or something like that, isn't it? And the benefits is nerve irritation. It numbs nerve irritation.
It's the cryo thing. That's what LeBron's got, isn't it?
It's like the extreme version of having a really cold shower, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it was all the detail of this is for a big guy. This is, you can do the exact temperature, all of that. It's just everything was in detail. You also had a hydro area, and that might be, oh, it's this one, Mark.
You want to go to that one then?
Yeah, I think this is the hydro area.
Okay. Oh, what a terrible place to be. What a terrible place. Oh,
again,
awful.
Scale. What you can't see. Those TVs are huge, but what you can't really pick up on the scale.
You've got a like a normal sort of plunge pool here, and on the back, that's you've got some bubbles going there.
Yeah, so it features a hot and cold plunge area for recovery after workouts.
What a horrible existence they have. Truly. They must just go to work today and just think, oh, awful. Do you reckon, you see that there, do you reckon they get the same thing as all of us normal people do in swimming pools and that, where there's like there's a plaster floating in there?
No way. No way. No way. The level of detail that this organisation has gone into this, if a player leaves a plaster, bam, that is going to be snapped up.
Yeah. I mean,
Now, I got to apologise because I think I missed something here.
Yeah,
but
I think it's that thing there, isn't it?
No. It's in this area.
Yeah.
But I think I'm fairly confident. I don't know if it's the pool that I've got on show, but I don't think it is. I'm sure there's another one, but it's actually got a treadmill activated that you can activate as the floor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So if you're going through recovery and stuff like that, you actually go in the water, and that helps you with the recovery side of things. I guess that's mostly all lower body, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, because it reduces the body weight. Was my note here. Now, I said this to you earlier, Mark, and I have to apologise to you and apologise to all the fans, because one of the greatest rooms I didn't take a picture of. Or if I did, I accidentally deleted it. Couldn't believe it. At this facility, they have a again, this is a massive room, huge room,
right,
for a barber to come in. So it's actually got a proper barber's chair, and on the back of the chair you've got Orlando Magic logo.
Oh, I like that. Makes sense.
So
makes sense.
This kind of created a bit of conversation at the time, because I was kind of saying, do you, like, you're obviously the players are products.
Yeah.
Do you say to the players, I need you to look good, go get a haircut? And it was like, no. They can do whatever they want as far as their hair is concerned, but generally most of them want to look good. And so they do have a barber who will come in and do it, but some of the players have their own personal hairdresser. And they say, do we say barber? We say hair. I'd say I'm going to the hairdressers.
Yeah.
Is barber an American thing?
Generally don't know.
I wrote barber. Anyway, so yeah, some of the players get barbers turn up, and then they go into that room, bam, that's where they get their hair sorted out.
All right.
And but it was just I never thought about it before, but there's a massive room that just for cutting hair. Yeah. But it was the chair that looked really cool because it had the Magic logo on the back.
I'd walk in there and just sit in the seat. It'd be like, you're taking a mick, aren't you? What are you doing here? Come for a shine. But that's cool. So that's all around in this same area then.
Yeah, sorry, I think there's I think I've missed something as well. Which is nap rooms.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm fairly sure they've got nap rooms, and maybe there were like these pods in there where they could get in the pod and have a sleep if they want to.
That makes sense.
I'm pretty sure that was near the game room.
They have those in some companies in the Far East.
Okay.
So keep people productive. If you're feeling tired during your day, for your lunch break, you can go and have a nap for like 20 minutes. Powers you through the rest of your day. Keep everyone optimized.
Well,
makes sense. The amount of traveling these guys do.
Yeah.
They just land, come back.
I wrote this and I remember seeing it, but I just wrote iron lung.
Okay.
So they've got a massive machine in there. Do you know where you'd go in and they call it the iron lung? Where you go in, it would help you breathe.
Yep.
I swear they had one of those in there.
I think you're probably talking about a hyperbaric chamber.
Okay, what's that?
You know when people are diving and they go down and they get the bit.
I've got a picture of that one.
So those sort of things they use them a lot.
Okay.
Use those, and it's to reduce stuff, and not like a Deadpool thing where you reduce the oxygen or whatever, but it's to do it with the pressure, so it helps you heal and that sort of thing.
Well, yeah. So they had one of those. That was in one of these rooms around here as well.
Oh, wow.
So we're now going into the bigger space, and there's lots of these little subtle things that you're going to see.
Okay, which one do you want?
Yeah. We'll go back to that one.
We'll go back to this one.
So there's lots of subtle things there. So this is, again, like a physiotherapy. This is a big space. This is just one part of that space. But, clearly you can see how high those chairs are.
Yep.
But it's at a great height for a player to be sat on with his knee easily accessible, ankle, whatever it is. So the chair, the black chair, is obviously where the physio sat, dealing with whatever they're dealing with. I was so tempted just to say, can I just go sit on that chair so I can say I've sat on something that a player. I should have done that in the change room, shouldn't I? That'd been better.
Yeah. Right until the person's
but
like,
again,
he's been sat in my chair.
Branding everywhere.
Yeah.
Great. It's absolutely great.
It's one of the better logos to brand as well, isn't it? There's no question that.
So we're getting to one of the big workout spaces now, but
this one?
Yeah. This is something that I just wanted to highlight again for branding. Oh, there you go. This is one I got online. So in the bottom right.
Yeah.
Look, there you go. That's the outdoor space.
That's where you can have your
for
barbecue.
the family room going back there. But look, you can see the Amway Centre in the background.
Yeah.
So just to highlight, because this is really important. Now imagine you're looking after the medical welfare of these players.
Okay.
And something happens game night.
Yep.
Look how far you're away from a world-class facility.
Oh, yeah. Of course,
if a player needs like an MRI scan or something and he needs to go into the nearest hospital, whatever, no, he's doing that here.
Yeah.
So I think, anyway, so the reason I took this, because this was one of the few shots that I could find. If you look at the bottom left, for the people listening, it's just weights. But every weight is branded with the Magic logo.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, well, that's why I was thinking with that lounge thing, is that in the whole family room, there wasn't much of the branding around, which I thought was surprising in one way. But makes it more family in a sense.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
So let's actually go to this big space now. So this is one of the main, this is the main gym. So, like there, you can kind of see everything is branded here.
Yeah.
Magic on the floor, magic on the wall, magic on the weights. It's just a massive exercise weight room. And it's a huge space, but you can't appreciate it in this picture.
No.
It's a huge space and you can't appreciate it. To the right, I don't think I've got a great picture, but to the right, there is an inclined ramp.
Okay.
and it's just like a running hill, but an inclined hill. So that's where they'll be, I don't know, running up that or pushing weights up that.
The green bit of turf you can see on the
Yes.
right-hand side, you do have a picture somewhere. I'm sure I've seen it.
No, there's something similar that's outside.
Yeah. Okay.
There's something similar outside. I don't think I took a picture of the hill, but yeah, again, you know where people are pushing tires up a hill, that, you know, it's all that work.
Isn't it these ones
No,
here?
that's something else.
Okay.
So
that's one view of it, and there's another view as well.
yes, if you go to that other view,
Yes.
yeah, an inclined sprinting ramp. Yeah, that's what it is. So this is really, really important.
Okay. I love that logo on the back. That's cool.
On the wall.
That looks really cool.
But this may be a first in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but this could be a first.
Okay.
So on the left-hand side of the picture, you can see those glass doors.
Yep.
Now, that is an altitude chamber.
Oh, okay.
So they go in there, and it allows them to train at lower oxygen in lower oxygen environment.
Yep.
And Magic are the first team to have an altitude chamber, a specific altitude chamber that's essentially a room where you can mess around with the oxygen levels.
Yep.
There's a vacuum, sealed vacuum. So I guess this is really important when they go to places like Denver.
Mile High City.
And so they can acclimatize for that.
Well, there's a lot of very famous athletes who go to places like Denver for that exact reason, because they're training at high altitudes, and then when they go to places around the world that are not at sea level, but they have a massive advantage because they've been training at that low level oxygen, and when they go to oxygen, they almost can become like oxygen drunk in a way, where there's so much oxygen that they're getting through their system. It's like gives them an extra. That's what it does. It's
So
basically
it's for lung capacity, does it?
It's the I forgot the name of it, but it's the way in which your oxygen gets taken into your blood.
It increases the number of red blood cells
Yep.
in the body.
And what it does, so then what
And
happens is
sends
when you go
oxygen
to
the
sea,
muscles.
so when you go to sea level or a lower level, then you've got all of these extra red blood things that can maximize all the extra oxygen you've got. So it's like a natural boost, and you literally are just running on extra. That's why you see lots of the Ethiopians who are fantastic at the long distance running. One of the reasons is because of the altitude where it is there, where they're training. They're so used to that level, wherever they would go ever, they're just used to running and doing a long distance on a lower count of oxygen.
Right.
So that's why there's certain places that are always really, really good for stuff like that.
Well, I did write that the Magic believe they're the first team to have access to
that's pretty awesome.
an environment like that.
Well, you got to think, LA, New York, just pick some random teams. Miami, Boston, Orlando, they're all at sea level. They're all at sea level. So that none of them have to deal with anything like Denver or such like that. So that makes a big difference. Huge difference. That's cool. What else we got here? What else we got? Oh, there it is.
So again, I'm trying to just give you scale here of, and it's really difficult. I should have stood in the room so you could see it.
I'm just looking down here. They got 20. You got 50 kilos on that there. That's not too bad.
But what I wanted to highlight here, so you can almost see in this picture the incline hill.
Yes, you can.
Just to the right, as it's going up. But that glass, all that glass there, again, going back to one of the things I said right at the start, natural light coming into the building.
Yeah.
So imagine being in this. I mean, that's a shot at night, but imagine coming into this facility during the day. When I was there, so bright, light everywhere.
Nice.
But there is a door.
Yep.
On those glass, by that glass wall.
Yep.
And when you go through there, you are in an outdoor lap and training pool area.
Oh, okay. This one?
Yeah. There you go. So this is where they can go outside, and this is actually outside. So you can see these almost like beams that look like it's a wall, but you're not. You're outside.
Okay. Yeah.
They call it. I think they call it the pool outdoor turf space. Many players like to swim for the cardio conditioning. The turf outside, meanwhile, is used for running, sprints, and performing other track-related activities.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mark, we haven't even got to the court yet. And it's the court that will blow your mind. So, Mark, that is everything.
So that's there. What about this?
This is just another shot. Just keep going. It's just another shot of that space. Yeah.
Wow, look at that. That's so cool. That is very cool. And all of that sort of space is all around in here. And
then from the other end.
That's from the other end.
There's their pool area.
I mean, the struggle's real for them, isn't it?
They are so spoiled. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that
life is amazing.
Do you know what? Genuinely,
if you're an Orlando Magic player.
Genuinely, I think as a few other teams will look at this and be.
This is the blueprint for the NBA. If you're having a training
not
facility.
Just they'll be quite annoyed. I think. I bet a few teams would be quite annoyed by that, because just seeing this sort of facility, you go. Immediately, if you're a player, you're thinking, well, they're investing in my health and well-being. Just looking at this. And that's a great draw, rather than, oh, this is a team who's there. I'm just an asset. If I don't do a job, I'm out. This is someone who's looking at it and going, yeah, we will look after you.
And that's what you get from when you walk in the door until you leave.
Yep.
Here's the family. This is what your nutrition is. This is what we can help you with. This is your walk-in wardrobe where you can drop a bomb of shoes in there.
Funny enough,
everything is you're looked after.
There's a something online, I think it's Amazon Prime, it might be, who they do something about Giannis, and it's about how he got into the NBA. The reason I bring it up is because they're talking about Milwaukee and Milwaukee Bucks practice arena that they had prior to the Fiserv being built and the facility next to that. Well, they were talking about how their building was like 40, there was buckets where water would get through and stuff. And, they had like a terrible, before Giannis got there, they had a really terrible facility in Milwaukee. And you think, hang on, how long has he been there? He hasn't been there. He's only been there like 10 or so years. And you think it was even in the 2010s that some of these NBA teams had facilities that were not that great to train in, comparative to their salaries and what they did. And
look at the
like
Orlando Magic. They've only just gone in here. They were training on one court up until 2022.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
So, Mark, let's move on.
Let's move on
to the highlight.
The pièce de résistance, should we say?
Now, do you know when you walk, when you haven't been to an NBA game in a long time?
Yep. Get rid of these.
Maybe if you have been into an NBA game in a long time, but do you know when you're going through the arena, everyone, I think, will know what I'm saying. You're walking through the arena, you're grabbing your drink, you're grabbing your pizza or your M&Ms, whatever you're doing, and then you walk through the tunnel, and it opens out, and you see that floor, and you just look at it and go, "Nice." I'm here. Nice. Do you know what I mean by that? That's what you get when you walk onto that floor right there.
No badminton lines.
It is just pure.
It's the first thing I look at. There's no other lines on the court. It's a pure court.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way they're going to be doing anything else other than basketball.
Oh, of course.
But look, this training facility includes 2 full-size practice courts, access to 2 full courts that have like a third section. So that'll be, it goes just past the 3-point line. So that'll be like specialized stuff.
Yep.
And
it's funny, just looking
like
at
the shooting court, I guess.
Yeah, you've got, the 2, and then, I can see them now. Yeah. The more you look at the picture, the more you see it.
Well, I would say this is a 100% modern basketball facility. So, Mark, go to my video and it will put it in a little bit more, because that is a PA shot, that is.
Okay, let's see if we can get this up.
So, I've literally walked on the middle court. Right here. And I'm just doing like a little span of the court. So there you go. You've got your main courts, and then as I pan round, you'll see the two like shooting courts, or, you know, specialist drill courts.
That's cool.
And then they have got them. They've got the banners up there as well. Anytime they've won anything, they're up there.
That's very cool. So there's the same banners there that are in the arena. Do you know what? I never think of that, actually, that you'd hang your banner. You'd want to hang it in your training place, not just in the place that you play.
Yeah, I'd have both, yeah.
Yeah. I've never thought of that till then, that you would naturally want to be like, hey, we won that.
Again...
Because this is where they spend the most time comparative to...
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, just highlighting the natural light. When that shot pans round to one side of the court, you can see the natural light coming in from the top.
Yep.
Quite large windows up there. Maybe I haven't got it in my shot. Maybe I haven't got it in my one, but you can see it in... If you're watching,
you can
YouTube,
see it all there. It's all of these
just above that. Just above that.
Yeah, it's all coming in.
But the detail on these courts as well is something that you got to talk about. So one of the things I noticed as I was walking around it, the give on the court, like there's a lot of give on that court.
Yeah.
So they're thinking of looking after the players as they're running up and down here training all the time.
Yeah.
There's other things like, if you look at the distance, I mean, again, this is a big space, so it's a little difficult to judge it. But when you get to the baseline, there's a much bigger runoff till you get to the wall.
Yeah.
So players don't have to de-accelerate really quickly after the baseline.
Yeah, that's
so they
that's
can
a familiar feeling.
They can actually run off, if that makes sense what I'm saying.
Yes.
Again, it's all to do with load management on the players.
I mean, you can see it there, particularly in that shot where you can see you've got Orlando Magic symbol, and the text, and then the back of the stand, and then the bit behind it. Like that.
Yeah.
That emulates what it would be like game day. Like you can see that the reporters would be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there's what you're talking about there is an elevated viewing balcony.
Yeah.
And that looks over one of the main courts when that you walk into.
Okay.
And one thing I absolutely loved.
Well, this is the balcony here, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a Muhammad Ali quote on.
Let me pull that up.
Literally on the Magic floor training facility.
Oh, it is.
And the quote is, I'll let you make that a little bit bigger because I haven't got my glasses on, Mark.
There you go.
I do know it. So the quote is, and this is you got like the viewing gallery just underneath the viewing gallery. Again, the wood texture of the actual
mango
gallery.
wood. I think
I love it. But the quote is, massive quote: "The fight is won far away from witnesses, behind the lines, and in the gym."
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, that's cool.
The fight is won far away from witnesses.
It must be weird if you are one of the executives and you go and just sit up there when they're having a practice. But at the same time, if you're one of the players, I go back to one of those.
I'd be at the window like that, just watching all day.
If you go back to one of the picture and you see, if you imagine that you're sat up here and and then the players are coming out, it would be like the headmaster sitting watching what you're doing in your school work. You'd be like, oh, hang on, they're in the box up there. You would be very aware if someone went and sat up there if you're practicing it, because it's I know it's going to sound silly, but it's almost when they go in the stadium, there's so many people, there's too many, they could probably easier to shut it off.
Depends on
easier to shut it off, whereas that there's no one else there other than the guys and girls who are there to do the jobs that they need to do.
Yeah.
So if an executive comes in and sits down up there, they'll be
I think it depends on the executive.
I guess you'd know from a distance, but still, that would make you sit up and think, wouldn't it?
So I'm just going to jump to this real quick because this is really important.
Okay.
I didn't see this room, but I knew it existed.
The analysis room, I'm guessing.
So yeah, this is the. I think they call this the theatre room. So they have this theatre room, and obviously that's where players and coaches can study the movements and the training and the plays and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they called it the Magic Video Room. Magic Video Room. Oh, I can't remember.
MVR.
Again, I would highlight it is extremely spacious.
Yeah.
And
do you know what gives that away is the distance between that second row of chairs, sort of along here, that second row of chairs and this row of chairs.
No need to touching.
Yeah.
No need to touching.
You're not in the cinema where you're like, don't, yeah.
So obviously, yeah, this is like a big theatre room. They can all come together and go through that.
Wonder what it's like being in one of those sessions as well.
Well, this is where I'm going to blow your mind, Mark. Let's go back to the court.
Back to the court. Okay.
So this is right by the court.
I think we've actually got the court up here. Let's have a look. There it is.
So this is right by the court, yeah?
Yep.
So they would go and do that, then they'd come down.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Okay.
Now, let me just highlight a few things. There are video screens all around the practice court.
Yep.
So at any point, any of the coaches can pull the video and show them something from game tape right on the court floor.
Wow. Okay.
That I didn't
cool.
see.
No, but that's very cool.
Yeah. And there's a couple of things. I can see them on the video because I've
been there.
I was there and I know it's there. But they also have
there's some cameras and projectors.
Cameras there. all above the actual practice courts.
Yeah, and you can see a couple of them floating around.
Well, what that's supposed to do is track the players.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, they're tracking the movements and body.
In real time.
Yeah.
So the guys who are on recovery, or the guys who are the support staff who's trying to work out what they're doing or what they need to do.
Yep.
They're getting real-time data on the players of what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And that's invaluable for when you're talking about a player's performance.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And what they're actually doing inside the practice facility.
Yeah, and looking at the kinematics and everything. Okay, that makes
Again,
sense.
and it's all about injury prevention, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
100%.
you can, and as they're tracking the players and stuff, they can see all these things and get in front of the problems before they happen.
Yeah, that is very cool. Oh, what a game. Well, to be able to play on that and then just have people warming up on the side, that'd be awesome.
Mark, that court, for our listeners in the UK, would literally be the nicest court that you would play on in the UK.
in your
easily.
Life. Yeah.
Easily. But, you know, I took one last picture.
One last picture. Let's have a look.
And it was just little bits of the detail. Again, look how nice that looks. The Orlando Magic logo on the floor, and that's me looking as if I was one of those spectators down onto that.
That looks very cool, doesn't it?
Beautiful, doesn't it? It looks absolutely immaculate.
And is that is the center line as well. I guess it sounds silly, but the advantage they have with this floor as well is it's fixed. It's there. Obviously, the game floor in the arena can go down, can get lifted up, etc. This is permanent. This is here. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't put anything down on that. I wonder if it feels different to the players, if that makes sense.
I think it will do because, again, because
this is a permanent thing as opposed to
every minute detail has been considered. So that floor has been considered when they're talking about a player running up and down.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot more give in that floor.
Yeah.
Like when I went on in the Amway Center and walked on the Magic floor, there is a lot less give.
Yes.
Than that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
not loads, not loads.
Yeah.
I mean, I was standing in one of the more of the corner,
Yep.
but you could still, it wasn't as much give as in that.
No, makes sense.
One of the things that really was highlighted to me as well was
so much branding is brilliant.
Was the actual, and I've never in my life considered this, was how rigid the rings were as well. So obviously I'm in the Orlando Magic training facility. I'm going to shoot around. But what really surprised me is when you're shooting on an NBA court, before you press play, Mark,
Yeah.
keep the sound on and just, let me turn this down so you can hear the ball. But the actual backboards themselves
Yeah.
are,
I'll put you front and center. There you go.
the backboards themselves are just felt like almost like an outdoor court.
Okay.
Is how I describe it. But it makes sense. I was thinking about it afterwards. Like, it felt so solid, but it makes sense. In the UK,
Yeah.
people dunk on rings and stuff like that. We don't do anything about it, do we? So you might get that little
Sack.
it's little sack, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas on these rings, they're getting 250-pound dudes dunking it.
Yeah.
So they can't have that.
No.
It was just an odd moment. Let me turn it down so you can hear listen to the ball on the floor, Mark.
All right.
Okay. There you go.
Rim rattler.
Okay.
Listen to the floor, though. Beautiful, isn't it?
That's cool. But that was, there's no give in that at all, is there? There's no give whatsoever in that. In that ring, it's like, there you think that's going in. Just a slight touch, it's rolling around, isn't it? Just a slight touch of that ring.
Yeah.
Obviously it went in, but that's good. But
Yeah.
bloody hell.
It's look, there's no way I was going on that court and not scoring a basket. But they were very kind for us. We shot on that thing for a fair while. So yeah.
And on that ring as well, that there's two balls that you got to use on that as well, didn't there?
Yeah, so I shot with the NBA cart ball and like a normal NBA league ball.
Yeah. You weren't giant fans of them.
Both were worn in. I'm generally not a huge fan of the NBA balls. Kind of feels like I'm just not a huge fan. But the thing is, we don't ever get to interact with them.
No.
So we get these balls that you will touch and you'll have that leather and you'll be like, man, this feels great. And then so in your mind, you think when you touch an NBA ball, it's going to be
that or elevated.
Yeah. Like that, like absolutely that perfect ball, exaggerated. It's actually the opposite. And I'd say just playing on the practice court, it reminded me of playing on an outdoor UK court. And I know that sounds really weird. Not the floor, but the ring and the ball. That's how it felt.
Unforgiving.
Absolutely unforgiving.
Yeah.
Absolutely
if
unforgiving.
If you've ever been to the UK or you're in the UK right now, there was some time around the late 90s where Adidas basketball, I think it's Basketball England, they all got a load of sponsorship in and everything, and they put a lot of rings up. And the rings that they put outside for street ball, it was great, and it was trying to ride the wave of the basketball's popularity. But because they were metal, and it's a metal ring and it was fixed and everything, they were, I won't say not vandal proof, but that was kind of the concept of it. The downside is if you did not hit a perfect shot, the ball was getting catapulted anywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of reminded me of that.
Do you know what's interesting? I've always wondered this, why you don't see as many people hitting bank shots in the NBA. And you used to, and then it's kind of got less and less. I mean, look,
Tim Duncan was the one who always stood out for me.
I'm going to say, like, there's a few of the Dallas family have been quite well known for doing that. I
just realised your jumper.
How long's it taken? Look at it in its glory. Look, I thought this was a nice colour scheme. Look, I'm matching. I've got the colours on. But honestly, I genuinely thought. I always wondered why that was, that people don't use the bank shot. But when you see those pictures and stuff, you go, maybe it's just not anywhere near as forgiving.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I'm not, I'm not sure. I mean, I shot on it for a bit.
How are your free throws, Paul? You did send me a video. You did send me a video.
I forgot to send that on here. I scored. Look, all I will say is I scored a free throw on there for you.
That was the first thing he said. I was like, did you take a free throw? It's the first thing I asked him. If you haven't, I've got a bit of an obsession with free throws, everyone. So if you haven't listened to that or heard that by now, yeah.
I refuse to answer how many free throws I took.
1 for 10 or something.
Can't remember.
Did it?
One went in.
Silly.
The last one went in. That's all you need to know.
When you were taking that, and that's going to sound silly, but you've taken plenty of free throws. Did the distance, or did it feel different? And I know that sounds silly, but because you're in that facility, that's an NBA ring. Everything is, as you say, very, very exact. Did just that, you think, this just feels different?
I can't. It's really difficult for me to answer that question. And the reason it's difficult is because I hadn't really shot a basketball in a long time.
No, I get that.
I went from
you come back off the injury, and
I haven't shot in a while, so there was no way I wasn't going to shoot.
No, of course not.
But it was quite difficult. I threw up a lot of bricks.
But we're lucky.
A lot of bricks.
The producer was there as well, and
those
he got
executives were like, we're not signing him up.
No chance. But he took a few shots as well, didn't he, the producer? And
but he had the same thing. It's like, man, that like he plays, he plays a lot, and he was like, man, it's just not forgiving. But again, he had the same thing: brick, and everything was hitting the front of the ring, which made me think.
That's what I'm questioning. That's why I'm saying it.
I don't know.
Is it something that you sit and think? I don't know why that. Like that 10 meters to the thing is it? What's the stat? It's about if you move a staircase, if you move the step a certain millimeters up, people trip over it. It's like it's a genuine thing because people are so used to it. All steps are a certain height, and if you change the height of a certain step, people will always trip over it. Like it's just a thing. I wonder if what you're saying about our rings and not being maybe as precise, where everything there is so precise and unforgiving, that 10 meters to the ring,
maybe that's what it is.
Exactly.
Maybe there's 100%
is it
exact
10 meters to that? This, someone will be able to tell us this. Drop us an email if you know. Is the 10 meters to the bottom of the ring? Is it to the top of the ring? Is it to the center line of that rim?
Oh, who knows?
That's what I genuinely don't know that. But maybe that could be it, because it could just be, if they're hitting that top bit, it could be to the center line rather than the bottom or something.
Well, just to finalise, just as I was walking off the court, that's when some of the things we were talking about what they do have there is CAT scan machines, MRI machines in the building. They are designed for big humans to go in. So again, like I said before,
big human.
If
hello, big human. What are you? I am a big human.
If someone needs that, it is there. On game night, it is there. They'll be doing that.
That's not a cheap machine.
Right then.
Yeah.
And
that is, yeah. Look, you have to be, I won't say not say devil's advocate, but you mentioned it earlier. They're players, but they are assets of the clubs. So they want to make sure they're in the best health because they have a financial investment associated with these players. So it does make sense to have all of this in place as well. Like from a pragmatic point of view, not just for, hey, let's give you the best we can, but also we are protecting our investments by having the best facilities and looking after them. Makes sense.
100% makes sense.
Why would you not want to practice if that's your facility? You'd be literally thinking, "Can I just go in?" We've all seen
wake
the
up in the
stories.
morning, it's practice. Yeah, let's go.
Exactly. You'd want to go to practice, and I know you. I won't say anything. If you play an instrument, for example, when you practice, you're terrible because you get it almost out your system, so that when you're performing, you've got it nailed right. But in this sort of thing, you would just want to. I want to just go and shoot 3 throws. I wonder what the process is like for booking it out. They just rock up, say, "Oh, I want to practice today."
I think they
have schedules,
I don't
obviously.
know if you can book that out or not, but I have seen pitches where I'm assuming a school or children have gone there to practice on the court. So
yeah, I mean they do a lot of community stuff, don't they?
Yeah, very much so.
And in respect, a lot of the NBA teams do.
Yeah.
I don't know about some of the other sports, but certainly I know the NBA's always been really big. They did the whole Got Milk thing back in 80s, 90s, and they've always promoted like real positive things in their communities. So,
but if you've got a facility like that, it it was a
you're not going home. You're not going. I've got a sauna, steam rooms.
Well, I'd say
get my therapy.
There's no way they're letting anyone other than players go in all of that. But on the court, yeah,
you go out to the bar, you'd be like, "I'll have my specially made drink, thank you very much."
I'd go. Can I have? You got my Coke? No, you're not having that.
Yeah,
you're not having that.
What about Yorkie bars, Twirls, Kit Kats? No,
you're not having that. Here's a
Reese's
banana.
Pieces.
That's what they'll be saying. Have an apple. So what I would say is it was such an amazing experience. It was amazing to say we'd walked around the facility, gone on the court, been able to shoot on a court.
Yeah.
And
I'm just leaving that picture up because that looks awesome.
If we as podcast
Hall of Famers.
I don't know if I'd call myself a Hall of Famer.
No, Naismith Hall of Famers. We'll go in there.
But if I'm walking away from that going, wow, I'm going to treasure that for the rest of my life that I did that.
Good.
It's absolutely
awesome.
amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to absolutely treasure that. But if I think that, a school is definitely going to be thinking that as well.
Amazing.
So
imagine if you're a kid and you see these players, and I want to say they're the local players to you almost. But then you're like, this is where I get to go inside that and amazing.
But one of the last things, and I didn't ask this, it's just something I've read, but I read that at this facility they have a standing CAT scan machine, and it's the first standing CAT scan machine in Central Florida. And it's supposed to be, it's used to highlight impact and pressure points on the players.
Oh, okay.
Like hips, ankles, and legs and knees and stuff like that. But again, the technological stuff that they're doing there, mind blowing.
I mean, it's what's interesting.
Hey, I don't want to see the stats for my shots. That's what I'd say.
What's interesting there is Orlando had a spate of quite a few players having injuries. And since they've had this facility, they're not having those, and I would just wonder if that is contributing.
Is there a relationship with that?
Yeah, just having a slightly better facility where everything is in one place, that would play a difference. But what a place!
Yeah,
what a place!
Mark, what an amazing experience!
I'm going to say something silly as well.
Again, a huge thank you to the Orlando Magic organization for all the experiences that that they blessed me when I was over there.
Yeah.
But special for this day, huge thank out to Shelley. She's extremely kind. So yeah, thank you very much.
Very, 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 very humbled to be able to go there, and we appreciate it's not something everyone gets to see. So thank you very much for letting us experience that, I guess is the word, really, isn't it?
And Mark, as far as this podcast goes, I was 1 for 1.
What?
On that court.
You were not 1 for 1.
That's what the video shows.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
So
I mean, you wouldn't be playing horse on that, would you? You'd turn up and say, what are you going to do? So just have a game of horse.
I tell you what, I'm going to finish this where I started.
Yep.
And that is, if there's any possibility that you can imagine for an NBA player to develop and grow and become the best possible version of themselves every single day, they have all this opportunity at the Orlando Magic Advent Health Training Facility.
Yeah, 100%. Very, very, very cool. Well, thank you for tuning in on that one. That was brilliant. And thanks for sharing that, Paul, because it's, you were on your holiday as well, so appreciate you doing that. But I'm sure it wasn't a hardship getting a look around at that awesome facility. So tune in for our next episode where we'll be going into further depth about something else, Orlando related. I've been Mark.
I've been Paul. Orlando Magic, I love you!